Hello and welcome to Film Focus Online Presents. Today we're bringing you our exclusive interview with director Ben Wheatley, and we're discussing his new film, Normal, which stars Bob Odenkirk. The film hits cinemas this Friday, 15th of May, so make sure you get down to your local cinema to see it. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more great film conversations and exclusive interviews. Now, I will hand you over to Shauna Bush and get into the interview with Ben. We hope you enjoy.
Hi Ben,
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Nice. It's lovely to meet you.
You too.
So I want to say, Normal was fantastic. Honestly, I had an absolute insane blast with this film.
Cool.
It started out so calm, so neutral, and then once you get into the third act, it's like a riot. I just had so much fun with it. So, like, thank you for making this film.
Worries.
So first question, most thrillers, treat small towns as cozy places gone wrong. Um, did you approach Normal as a cozy place that was never right to begin with? And how did that affect your production design?
I tried to treat it, and I think it was important to think about it as not to take sides and not to. It wasn't about pastiching it or taking the piss out of the people. I think that was important. It's a similar thing we had with Sightseers, where it's like you you don't want it to be a perspective of filmmakers saying that places are shit, you know. So it's like you. So I had a lot of time for the town, and that did feed back into the design, and that's what we talked to the designer about it and going, this is I like this town, I like these people. We want to make their town good, nice for them. And I think they're good people, probably, but they've just made some very bad decisions. So and I think that you see that in the movie where, like, even though it's an action film where traditionally the townsfolk would be really evil and the hero would just slay them one by one, and it would be, yeah, fuck you. But in this, it's much more like I feel the morality of it of Ulysses. He's worried about these people. He doesn't take any pleasure in killing them, and he's just
Mm.
like, oh God, why are you so fucking? What are you doing? You know, why are you doing this to me? Because it's bad because it hurts him as much as anything. You know, in the end, it's like he has this on his conscience. He just about gets out of it alive. You know, and I think that was that, and the part it's that, and also the incredible like pathos of Bob Odenkirk's performance that you can believe it. You know, you
Hmm.
believe that he's not gone into some kind of wraith like Terminator mode and just like, right, this it's revenge. You know, because it's not. He's trying to keep the peace as much as possible.
Yeah, I liked how in some sequences he looked almost afraid of what he was doing or like afraid of the mess that was going on around him.
Yeah.
Like his ability to just have such a straight face throughout everything that was going on as well. He barely showed any emotion, but you could tell that he didn't like what was going on. He didn't want it to happen, but he
Yeah.
did it anyway.
For me, the whole film like hinges around the moment when the receptionist from the police station falls under the car and it's about to drop on her, and he
Hmm.
kind of goes forward to help, and then he goes like that. That's the whole movie. You know, he's like wants to help, but God, it's too late. You know.
Yeah. I love Bob Odenkirk. He's a fantastic actor, and I really think as of late he's a great addition to the action cinema as well. Like
Yeah.
look at Nobody. Truly he's just fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I think he's got that. That movie star thing of like you root for him, and I found that as just even on set, I felt the power of that. I was watching the monitors, going, I want him to win. I don't know why. He's kind of morally dubious in this film in many ways,
Hmm.
but I'm forgiving all of that because I just want him to get through it.
Yeah, no, I get that. So you're working with Derek Kolstad on this movie, and his style from John Wick is very sleek and stylized, whereas yours is quite darker and grittier. Like, look at Kill List. I will bow down to you for that film as well, so that was amazing. How did your energies meet in the middle to maintain a balance between both of your kind of different creative flares?
Um, I think that Free Fire is the middle ground, and I think what happened is that Mark Provocero, the producer, Derek Kolstad, writer, and Odenkirk had seen Free Fire. They went to my agent and they were going, "Oh, we need someone. We need a director for this script. Who have you got?" And he said, "I know. I've got the person." And they showed him that, and from that point onwards, it was about that, like grounded action that was um, realistic and obviously performed. Not CG. Um, they basically came to me and said, "Look, Bob Odenkirk can do all this stuff, and we need to see him do it."
Mm,
You need to see his face and his body and do it. And uh, very early on, it was the discussion was had. He was saying like basically the only time computers are going to be used is to clean up cables that happen to be in shot or for absolute safety stuff, which can't be done any other way. So,
mm,
so from that point onwards, it was the whole film was designed around being practical as much as possible. And I guess to answer your question, then the the slickness of I guess John Wick does revolve around like kind of seeing practical stunts pretty much. There's quite a lot of CG in Wick as well, but
mhm,
it's like it's seeing Keanu do it, which is what's so engaging about it, and that's what was brought forward into normal. So it was like it was seeing Bob do it, seeing cars flip in the air for real,
mhm.
all that stuff.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Um, there's also one scene in Normal that kind of reminded me of the Meg 2, which like so different, but bear with me. There's a scene in Meg 2 where you have the shed, I think it's a pool shed where the enemies have got people in there and the animals are outside.
Yeah.
And uh, the camera work and the execution felt very different to the actual heart of the film. And I noticed that shift in Normal during the diner scene, and both reminded me of the intensity of Kill List. Can you talk me through how you decide which scenes you put your signature trademark on?
Um, I don't feel I've got a signature trademark per se. And I try and treat every film, in its own thing. Every film is different and has different things it needs to do. So something like The Meg is a big brassy pop culture-y that's also a kids film but also an action film and also it's a four quadrant mega film that has to be enjoyed in Vietnam and enjoyed in America and enjoyed in France and England, so it's a very different thing. But I guess where maybe that I start to the similarities in my stuff is maybe in the rhythm of action. Maybe that's what it is, and how I enjoy shooting action. I tend to storyboard a lot and plan a lot, and I
Hmm.
like stuff that I'm trying to be as clear as possible, and I like the kind of story of action of like little things causing one thing after another, and like little dramas within the action.
Hmm.
I think tiny little things of little stories that you can follow. So I think maybe that's where there might be a connection. I certainly think that I learned a lot on Meg. So there's a lot of kind of sequences with no dialogue in that are just kinetic action that
Hmm.
go on forever. There's like 20
Hmm.
minutes of Meg or 40 minutes, for a 40-minute section of it, which is all action, and like that last half hour is just like I don't think there's about two lines in it. So
Yeah.
that's what I would have been bringing to normal in that respect. But that's all stuff I'd kind of developed in Free Fire, to be fair, you know.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because the Meg is obviously very different. Like it's pop culture. It's a lot of humor in it, and it's kind of absurd in a way.
Yeah.
How did you, because Normal has a lot of absurdity in it and a lot of humor. Did you use anything from the Meg to help you in Normal with that to like make it more funnier?
Yeah, well, I guess it's from Meg 2. We tested it a lot. So I saw it with a lot of different audiences. Like we would have screened it like 6 or 7 times and took the scores from that and worked out what people liked and what they didn't like. And that kind of thinking then went into Normal a bit. So we knew what it was more crowd pleasing than say something like Kill List, which is basically fuck you to the crowd as much as
Mm.
possible to make them really upset. And this is more like, oh, people like that, that kind of, and that's why I think Normal feels like a bit of a throwback to a kind of an 80s, 70s or 80s film, is what I was
Mhm.
hoping for, which is a bit more like that, which is, that is happy to be a bit silly, but also happy to have gritty action in it
Mhm.
and adventure.
Yeah, I wrote a review for the company I'm doing this for Film Focus. I wrote in my review that it feels like a Midwestern setting mixed with like the flair of a John Wick action thing. It's really, I love how it all balanced together and how it actually made me feel when I was watching it. It was really the humor and everything on top. It just all balanced really well together.
Oh, cool. Thank
Um,
you.
you're
Yeah, I mean,
welcome.
that was what we worked quite hard on trying to do that because you can go too hard and it alienates the audience, or you can go too violent, or you can go too funny and it starts to break all the bits of it. So it's a tricky balance getting it right.
Hmm.
Um, but also it's like the story, the heart of it is like the story of him and his wife and his like estrangement and the fact that the girl gets shot in all the stuff that's happened before the movie, and it's working out how that works and how to make sure it doesn't feel like a completely other alien story from what you're telling,
Hmm.
but giving enough to the audience so they go, oh, I feel satisfied, but not too much to go, oh God, they're being told about something that's really interesting that I'm not getting to see, which is
Hmm.
always the problem with the flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that actually kind of went to one of my other questions with the tonal shift and everything of like trying to keep your audience involved and kind of stick with it. Because like in a couple of your films you've had quite a big twist happen and the rug is sort of pulled from underneath the audience. And with Normal, you kind of already feel that the town is a little bit off. It's a little bit weird already. Um, so specifically as a director, like how did you calibrate the simmer of normalcy so that when you finally hit the gas into total mayhem, the audience feels the impact and well, rather than being lost?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the big challenges of it. I mean, the it's a given that they know that something's going to happen. So you can't pretend in this film it's not a twist because you just know, don't you? You
Hmm.
go, it's called Normal. It's got Bob Odenkirk with a gun, and it's probably got something on the poster saying, this isn't going to be normal. Watch out, they've got a secret or some bullshit." So you know going in, and as a genre fan, you just go, "This is not going to be a character study about Bob Odenkirk pottering around." So
Hmm.
you know it's coming. So but at the same time, you've got to service that to a degree, but also not overstate it. So
Hmm.
it's a really tricky line all the time because, you know, and I always think about it, it's like the conversation between the audience and the screen just hangs in the air like a ball, and there's stuff going on inside it. And some of the audience are going, "Oh, get on with it. Bloody hell, I've come here to see him kick ass." And other people are going, "Oh, I'm really enjoying this town and what's going on, and I want to know more about the yarn lady. I want to know." So it's like trying to work out, and certainly when you introduce a lot of characters, people go, "Oh, I really like that character," and they want to hear more from them. But you're never
Hmm.
going to get any more, because
Yeah,
they're just being set up for something else. So
yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. And also when you've got people like Lena Headey in it and Henry Winkler that people just like anyway, they just want to see
Hmm.
more of them.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. You almost haven't got the heart to tell the audience that they're going to get it at some point.
Mm. Well, we've got time for one more question. And speaking of Lena Headey and Henry Winkler, I wanted to ask how it was working with them because they are two very well seasoned actors. Plus, Henry Winkler, he's usually a really happy, lovable character. Like he's warm, whereas in this one, you kind of pull him into a darker character. How
Yeah,
was
I mean,
that?
well, that's just fun, just to cast someone who everyone really likes and make them a bit more sneaky is good. And the thing about both of them, though, is tricky because they're both directors as well. So
Hmm.
they both directed features, and so they're not just like, you know, people who've been in the biggest television shows of all time. They're also very experienced directors, so they're a double threat.
Hmm.
But no, I got on with them really well. I really like Henry. I really like Lena. I mean, Lena was they're both only in for a couple of days, to be honest. So it was all very quick. But yeah, they just breezed in, and then sprinkled their extensive magic over the production.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today,
No
Ben.
worries.
Honestly, it's been amazing to talk to you. Awesome and normal. I can't wait to watch it again, honestly, and see what you come up with next.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you.